You're listening to Combat Radio with Ethan Dettenmeyer, right here on LA Talk Radio.
We've got, first and foremost, producer Loda Hadley, who actually coming off the Magic Stone and putting the financing together on many interesting pictures. Hopefully we'll talk about some of it. And then with us, the moment we've all been waiting for, Mr. Tyler Main.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Well, now that you're here, fantastic. If you need me to bring you up to speed, if you've been living in a trench outside of, Kabul, you may not know who this guy is, but you've seen him wreck shop in X-Men, Troy, opposite Brad Pitt as Michael Myers, Halloween 1 and 2, many things, many interesting projects where you dismantle people systematically.
Well, you gotta make a living somehow, right?
No, yes. Yeah, you do, and that's a good way to make a living. If you can do that kind of thing on film, it's good. But you've had it's been a great career for you because you've done some marquee films with some marquee moments, and that's not something not all of us can brag about that.
Yeah, I've been very lucky, very, very lucky.
And when you look back, you realize, you were the guy who helped make Hugh Jackman what he is.
Exactly.
You ever corner him and say, "Hey, where's my cut?" You were nothing until you fought Mia Sabretooth.
Well, we haven't had that conversation yet, but maybe I should have that.
I'll call him up for you.
All right.
I got you.
You got the direct line to him?
Yeah. I was actually bummed watching Troy. I think they killed your character much too early in that.
Well, Brad Pitt was the star of that, so I couldn't really follow the way the story should go. But I was just glad to be in it, and had a good part playing King Ajax, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I saw you going out sort of John Wayne Alamo style with like a couple of guys under each arm and a saber through you, and you're still fighting, and they're trying to take you down. You bring that kind of presence to a film, and I thought, man, this guy's got to go out in just a massive melee of chaos.
Well, why didn't you write the film then?
I was on it. Warner Brothers refused to take my call at the time. But you know what? I really did like the cast, actually. Eric Bana and those guys. They put a good group together around you, so you had a chance to work with some great people.
I did. Like I say, I've been very blessed to work with a lot of the top people, and I've enjoyed it and had a great time working with everybody on every picture I've done.
Yeah, and you've got some great death scenes, and some death scenes that aren't even death scenes because you come back sometimes, like the Michael Myers thing.
Well, exactly. It's kind of hard to kill Michael Myers, you know what I'm saying?
No, see, you knew when you got that role, you're like, I am gold, man. I'm going to be in a franchise. They're going to need me for episode after episode after episode, right? Did they give that talk?
Well, they have talked to me about another one, but it's been put on hold for right now. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
Because I would think that sometimes they use that as a bargaining chip against you. Say, look, we've got part 1 and 2 ready to go, essentially, or there'll be a part 2. So why don't we give you this fee? Instead of you saying, and they'll probably tell you, be a comic book icon, convention guy, and you're probably like, no. Listen, man, I just got off this Brad Pitt picture. I don't need this. I'm going to play Michael Myers the way, Peter O'Toole would do it, or some master thespian. I'm not here just to be shot up and blown up. I'm going to give this character life, right?
Well, yeah. That was a great take on it. I don't know if Peter O'Toole would actually want to do Michael Myers.
I heard he was in the running.
Was he in the running?
He was in the running.
What was he just a little too skinny? Or?
I think his agent just became difficult. Let that be a lesson.
I think he kept trying to speak with the mask on.
He couldn't do the Lawrence of Arabia accent with the mask.
With the British accent, it just didn't work.
He kept trying to.
Obviously, I think that you've actually transcended as a performer somewhat, because clearly you were brought in many times, probably in the beginning, because of your size and stature and presence.
Right.
And then they could find out, wait a minute, this guy, although he's got a pretty dynamic history in wrestling that a lot of people at the time probably knew you for, this guy can actually deliver a line. And that people don't realize. I worked with Steven Seagal. You don't know how tough that is, as he had a hard time doing. When you show up with the presence you bring and you can actually act, people are like, holy shit, this is going to be phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's taken a lot of hard work. I've done a lot of training, and I take it very serious, and that's what you have to do. My size has limited me for some roles, and I'm not going to be the love interest or whatever.
Why not? Why couldn't you do that?
Well, you never know. Maybe a comedy love interest. I fall in love with a midget.
Right.
I was actually going to say,
let's do that.
I can see.
Let's get right.
I can see where maybe they sit around for the remake of. They did the remake of Willy Wonka. They don't want you for the Oompa Loompa part, or I can see you being ruled out of those roles. But come on, let's be honest, because you've got sort of a sensitivity, and the camera works around things like that. You know what? We're gonna talk to the studios about this. This shit's got to change.
All right, let's do it.
And obviously,
Let's get ugly with them.
You might be the instrument in changing that because you've got Main Productions, right?
Main Entertainment, yeah.
Main Entertainment.
Main
excuse me.
Entertainment.
And your goal with this production company is to take innovative work, keep it independent where you can maintain control,
Right,
remain artistic with it,
right.
maintain your integrity with it,
Exactly.
fiscal
great.
responsibility, and do something productive.
Yeah, and we're trying to do smaller budget pictures because the bottom line is it is business. And what we want to do is we want to get a best in return for the investors. So that's why the first few projects we've picked are smaller budgets. We have Penance Lane, which is up, which we're going to be starting hopefully very shortly. We have the 6-time DP of all the Saw pictures, David Armstrong, who is going to be directing it for us, making his directorial debut with that picture. And as you can guess, it is a horror thriller.
Way to pigeonhole the guy.
Well, hey, what can you say? What can you say? It's I've been very lucky enough to develop such a good fan base with the Halloween franchise. So it seemed like the first picture to do would be to do a horror thriller, and that's where we're going with our first one.
If that's what your gut tells you to do, that's without question what you need to do. But I'll tell you, in talking to you, I believe that your roles, yes, got you going with the fan base. But I've seen how you are. I hear how you talk. And it's you that continues that relationship with the fan base because you're by far very good at interacting with people. You understand what the fan means. Doing an independent production, you have to appreciate what the fan can bring dollar-wise to the box office. And here, you never stick your middle finger up like other people we've worked with, or no, you're always very down to earth. And I think that if you have a fan base rolling, a lot of it's got to do with not just who you play, but who you are as a person, I would think.
Yeah, well, I'm just who I am. I'm just the Canadian boy, that happened to make it.
Oh, that's
out,
working against you, buddy.
Hey, relax. Us Canadians are taking over everything, man. No, but it's. I'm who I am, and I just want to give back to the fans, because without the fans, what I realized and what I learned through the wrestling is without the fans, I don't have a job.
Right.
And so why be rude to them?
Yeah,
exactly. Literally, in wrestling, the fans are your barometer. I mean, you can tell whether you're going to be employed next week based on how they react when you walk into the arena, I would think.
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my job was to piss them off as much as I could, and I seem to do that pretty good.
Well, during the musical break, you and I will do a little wrestling just to kind of relive the old days.
You're listening to Combat Radio with Ethan Dettenmeyer, right here on LA Talk Radio.